Good day everyone, this is Nick Otzi aboard Paradigm 2.0. I'm still in Paradise Village in Puerto Vallarta, Nuevo Vallarta, and I had a question online from one of my video about my my safety device that I have on board. Now, when we talk about safety devices, you can have all the gadgets in the world without having like a decent plan and procedure and a decent mind about how you go about keeping your boat safe. You're not going to stay safe. So the basis on Paradigm 2 is I have everything that's required for a cruising sailboat according to the Canadian Coast Guard. So that came with the boat. It comes with, that's your life jacket, your fire extinguisher, and your bucket, your all that kind of stuff. And so right now in this video I'm just going to focus on what I added on top of that. So you know, you need to have a bilge pump and all that kind of stuff. This is the sort of standard stuff that comes with the boat and is sort of mandatory as a minimum. So right, what I have on extra that I added, and I would not go offshore without these things, is you know, I have my automatic deployment EPerp right there. So this is a device. If I open it right here, that's the actual device. The case is just there to free the device whenever water would come inside the boat and I would not have triggered it. So I placed it here. I mean, you should place it somewhere that it's accessible. Here, like, I don't want this thing to deploy without me really wanting it, so I could deploy it straight from here by triggering this part here, or I can just let it be there. If the boat is sinking, this thing will float and it will transmit my position to the satellite system on 406 megahertz for 96 hours. And 2 years ago I changed the battery on there. You need to change the battery on these things. I think it's every 5 years, in order to make sure that you have the specified performance of the system. So that's what I have inside, on top of the minimum fire extinguisher and all that kind of stuff. On a 40-foot boat in Canada, you need to have 3 fire extinguishers. So I have one outside there where I carry my Lifecraft, so that's another part of the jacket. I have another fire extinguisher right here, and another one next to the stove. So this one here is for the engine compartment. You can see the flash sign there. The other one next to the stove is obviously for the stove, and then there's another one outside. So if I come outside, the other thing I've prepared for you is like I told you, properly here. This is my Lifecraft compartment. So inside there I have a bunch of stuff, but I have my Lifecraft also. Right now it's not set up for offshore cruising because I'm at dock, so it's just stowed in a convenient, out-of-the-way location. Another part of my safety kit is my Iridium sat phone. So I don't have an SSB on board, and the SSB is a sort of an older version of a long-range comms, and it's more part of what you'd want to have, like if you were in the merchant navy. As for myself, like, I have actually 2 Iridium sat phone on board plus an 8505 Alpha, so I have 3 Iridium sat phone. I should have some other constellation device, like there are competitors to Iridium, so that if it's the Iridium constellation that's down, I would have another way to function. But basically the principle in that is, if I have an incident offshore, I want to have a long-range comms that's global, that can you know, put me in touch with medical staff or Coast Guards or that kind of stuff. So that's one of my kit. Now we get to my life jacket. So the life jacket is a harness. It's an automatic deployment CO2 activated device. So I got this leash here with the 2 carabiners at the end. So these carabiners are auto locking, and they're designed to be hooked anywhere. So now if I have one hooked here, you know, before I unhook this one, I want to go take this one and hook it somewhere else to a hard point on the boat, in order to be able to walk around and always be tethered. So it's a double hook setup. Now here's a quick disconnect. The thing about that is, you know, you want to be connected to it, and if you fall overboard, you want that leash to hold you on the boat or close to the boat. There is also not a theory, I think it's a fact that if the boat goes fast enough, this can actually drown you, because it's going to be pulling you and pulling your head underneath the water. So it's up to you to be strong enough a swimmer at that point to be able to right yourself up and put yourself in a position where you can breathe and hopefully climb back to the boat. If you're not able to do that and you have some crew on board, it might be a wise thing to actually pull on that lanyard here, disconnect yourself from the boat, and then somebody's going to perform a man overboard maneuver and come and get you. Now, I single hand a lot, so in my case, if I did that, I'd be pretty much signing my death warrant. But just in case I have to do that, I have two tricks here. So this here is a smaller version of the EPerp. It's called a PLB, Personal Locator Beacon. You have the long form here. It's also on the 406 system, so that connects straight to the satellite. This one will work for 24 hours, and it will give my position in the water to all the search and rescue personnel or agencies that there is, and it's worldwide. So you know, in case I get separated from the boat, that's a way for me to alert the world that I have that problem. And then the other thing I have here is a SART, a survivor recovery system. So this one will transmit on the AIS signal. So it you know, if somebody would have that life jacket on board with me and fall overboard, if they trigger that one, their best hope of being rescued at sea is by the boat that they just fell off from. And if they trigger that one, it's going to use my chart plotter to put a position on the AIS system, and I know exactly to the second where that person is. Like it's a live feed of the person is in the water. So that's I have two of these life jackets, two of these harness / life jacket with one of these things each, and one lanyard each. So that's the way I'm set up on board here. And basically, like, if the weather is really rough, then only two people are allowed to be out of the cabin at the same time. So that's how I kind of operate. But now I'm falling into like safety procedures, so I'll try to just stick to the gadgets. So here you have like my jack line. So all this yellow line here goes up front to the boat, and that's tied up to the boat cleat. And basically, if I have to go forward, which typically on this Bavaria 40, I can perform all of my sailing maneuver from behind the spray hood, particularly in rough time. Like the only time I'd go in front is when I want to set up the code 0, but that's in light conditions. So otherwise, everything happens behind the spray hood. And if I have to go forward of the spray hood, then I have the jack line that I can use the carabiner from the harness in order to walk up and down the lane. Now you can see there's some tool there because they're changing my standing rig, and again that goes to my sort of overall safety philosophy, where I'm doing preventive maintenance, you know, particularly on stuff that is major like the rig. I don't want to wait till it breaks, but those tools are there for that. But other than that, you can see that my lifelines, which are also part of the safety equipment, so my lifelines are clean. There's nothing, you know, tied up to them. I don't have like jerry cans of fuel or a surfboard or a stand-up paddle board or that kind of stuff. I don't put that stuff on my lifeline because I don't want to stretch these tensions and these bolts, these screws that are holding them to the deck. I want the lifelines to be used only for emergency purposes, where if I was going to fall overboard, I can grab a hold of these lines and hold myself onto them, and they're going to keep me in the boat. And that's what they're for in my point of view, and that's why nothing else is hanging from there. Like there's that code 0 line, but that's about it. And that touches also my whole safety approach and philosophy that goes behind it. But I just wanted to show you the jack line. So these are the principal items that I have on board. Actually, one more thing would be, like, I have the Lifecraft, but I also have that big dinghy. And actually on coastal passages, the dinghy, if you keep it in good condition and properly fueled up, let's say you're 30 miles away from land and you're not in too rough condition, that can actually be a survival device also. So all in all, like, that's 3 boats, 3 major flotation devices that can just save my life and prevent me being in the water, which is the last scenario that I ever want to have. So hopefully that answers your question. If if you have more safety equipment or more safety device, like I said, I try to stick to the stuff that is not standard, that is above and beyond the normal bilge pump and life jackets and stuff, normal life jackets and stuff like that. That Coast Guard Canada would want, or U.S. Coast Guard would want. But if you have other stuff that I might have forget, just drop me a line in the comments. Thanks.